Hello, everyone. Diana Rankin here on this beautiful but cold Friday afternoon. Our question this week is quite interesting. This is, by the way, the 48th week in the year. Um, and so this is November 28th into December the 4th. So, welcome all of you. So good to see you, those of you who come live, and those of you who watch when I'm probably off sleeping. So anyway, we have a question this week, and it's a really interesting question from one of our viewers. So we're going to get to that in a moment, and we will get our message from my guide Phillip, and this is an oracle book, as many of you know. We just open up, and there is the message. So each page has its own wisdom on it. Well, hello, Judith. So good to see you. Thank you so much for coming live. So we're going to move forward here. And again, welcome everybody. So good to see you. And Judith, so good to see you. This is an interesting question that we have this week. And I do ask, put your questions in the comments below or email them to me. All that information is right below the video that you can get a hold of me. My phone number is there. You can go to my website, which is just my name, and you can get a hold of me that way as well. And it is, I just ask that, thank you, Judith. I appreciate seeing you today. I do ask that you keep the questions of interest to our whole audience. So they're more esoteric questions about life and death and everything in between. It's about our spiritual journey. If you have personal questions, let's set up a session for you. So get a hold of me by going right to my website, and my phone number is there. My email address is below. So I look forward to working with so many of you. I want to also tell you, I did start the newsletter back up. And in every newsletter, there will be at least one article that hopefully gives you some information to help your life. So you can sign up for that on the website. It is, by the way, free. So be sure and sign up. Okay. Here's our question. Phillip has been kind enough to, and it's not really a question, it's a statement. All right, English teachers. Phillip has been kind enough to answer so many of our questions. And then here's the question. What would Phillip most like to discuss that we have not yet asked? You got to hear this answer. We've heard it in various ways on other videos, but here it is right up front. Here's what Phillip wants all of us to know. We wish to state that this is kind of you to ask, so we shall do our best to give a clear answer. Perhaps you have already heard what we are about to say, but we shall say it anyway, for this is the most important information we have to impart. I get emotional when I hear that. This is the most important information they have to impart. Whew. That touches me right here in the heart chakra. It just gets me right there. Phillip goes on to say, you are both spirit and human. Let us repeat this, for it is of the greatest importance. You are both spirit and human. How can you be both, you may ask? First and foremost, you are spirit. As spirit, you, as are all beings, part of the all, and all is in capital letters, big A, part of the all. Nothing exists outside of spirit, and that spirit is the capital S as well. So as spirit, with the lower s, you are connected to everyone and everything. Your spirit chose to create a human experience, which is as real as is the spirit you. When the spirit you chose to create a human experience, you began a soul line that allows you to move, gotta turn the page here, through the human life, death, life, death, life, death cycle. Throughout the cycle, you may forget you are a spirit. you may forget you are spirit, not a spirit, but you may forget you are spirit as well as human. As memory begins to come back, you will be nearing the end of the fulfillment of the human experiences you chose to have. When I heard that, or when I wrote that from Philip, when I heard Philip give me that information, that that as we recognize that we are spirit as well as human, that we're nearing the end of our fulfillment of the human experiences that we chose to have, does not mean this would be our last incarnation. Um, I didn't get that at all, as much as we can then uh, we'll just really understand that we're spirit. And he does answer the question, can we leave at any time? Anyway, here we go back. I'm getting, I don't mean to confuse you. So let me just go back and read. Not everyone has the same experiences, but all experiences, all contribute to the expansion of spirit, again with the capital S. At any time during your cycles of life death, you may choose to return to spirit only. And that's with the capital S there. However, unless you first understand that you are spirit with the little s, you will not understand you can return. So that kind of answers the question that I was jumping ahead. The capital S seems to be the all, the spirit. Our own individual spirit seems to be with the lower s, even though we're part of the big S. Phillip says, when a human life is ended, you return to spirit. And that's with the big S. Spirit world. When a human life is ended, you return to spirit world. But since you are still caught in the life-death cycle, your experience of spirit world will not be the same as someone who has completed the cycle and knows they are pure spirit and no longer the individual. That's really, I'm going to repeat that because that's kind of hard to grasp. When a human life is ended, you return to spirit world, but since you are still caught in the life-death cycle, your experience of spirit world will not be the same as someone who has completed the cycle and knows they are pure spirit and no longer the individual. Once merged back into spirit in this way, the memories of human life eventually fade for the individual, but not for the collective wisdom. By this we mean once the spirit soul has completed the journey and emerges again fully with spirit, their memories and memories of human experiences become the memories of all, while also maintaining the energy of the individual. Before human experiences, there is only spirit. After human experiences, there is spirit with memories. This is how spirit grows and expands. I love that. It must be said that the human experience will bring forth pain as well as joy. There is no up without a down. There is simply the human experience. In spirit, an experience just is, and all is love. There is no need for up or down. There just is, and all is love. The human form, it is in the human form, it is necessary to right the wrongs, to hold the other accountable, to know right from wrong. In spirit form, there is only love, so there is only love. There is no right or wrong, as there is in the human world. As the human comes into awareness of their spirit, they will begin to live through their spirit in the human form. In doing so, they will begin to understand the up and down, so necessary in the human form, becomes less so. They may even begin to understand that even in the human experience, all is love. It's much more difficult to learn and express in the human form, but the more who do so, the greater the joy of human existence for all. It's much more difficult to learn and express in the human form, but the more who do so, the greater the joy of human existence for all. So what Phillip is telling us is, well, hello, Annika. So good to see you. What Phillip is telling us then is that we are spirit, and before we choose to come into human experience, and before we come into human experience, we don't have the memory. And so then we go through life cycle, life, death, life, death, life, death cycles. And even though we're in the spirit world after our human death, that doesn't mean we're fully back in, not fully back, that's wrong. That doesn't mean that we understand that we are just spirit. We're still going through this life, death cycle. Once we really get that we are spirit having the human experience, that's when we can choose to leave or not leave. And that's when we remember that we really are spirit, and we take all those memories. If we choose not to come back into human form, we take all those memories into spirit form, and that grows spirit. Isn't that cool? When we think about it, I think it's pretty cool. So thank you for the one who asked that question, and thank you, Phillip, for the answer. Let's get our message for this week, shall we? And I'm just going to open up to any page as you saw, and I'm hearing right. But so if you heard right, that's just our instinct and sync. If you heard left, then that's a message that you really need to pay attention to, because that's a message that is for you. Hello, Desi. And she says, my teacher one say merging back into Brahma. Oh, okay. My teacher, it's like you're saying my teacher says merging back into Brahma. Yes. Spirit world Brahma. Yes, absolutely. It is the same. We just have different words. And Annika wishes us all a happy Friday. That's always fun to interact with those who come on live. So thank you. All right. Here's what we heard from the right. You are given that which you are willing to accept. You are given that which you are willing to accept. You know, of course, that goes along with our message, but I want to expand it a little bit here. So many people, not so many, but a few people have said to me, hey, if you're so psychic, how come you don't win the lottery? And I explained to them, because I haven't yet learned how to step into the energy of being a millionaire. And in order to win the lottery, you have to believe in that energy. You have to be part of that energy. You have to step into it. And I'm still working through what I learned as a girl. You got to work hard for the money you earn. It would be nice not to work so hard, but you all keep me going. So thank you. So our message is, you're given that which you're willing to accept. And I think that does apply to this week's message from Phillip, to answer the question. As humans, before we come into spirit world, I always say we forgot to read the small print, but we're the ones who created it. We're the ones who formed our team and brought us all together and created this life form that we could then come into human form and have fun, I guess. All right. If you heard left, here's your message. If you never face difficulties, how would you know how great you are? If you never face difficulties, how would you know how great you are? Boy, isn't that the truth? We learn, we grow, we become, we learn the truth of ourselves as we go through difficulties, and don't suppress them, don't push them down, but reach the other side. And on the other side is that joy of knowing our own strength, our own beauty, that joy of knowing how great we are. And each one of you, Desi, Annika, Judith, I'm so grateful to see all of you. And I will see you later. Early next week, I'll be doing, or probably not over the weekend, but maybe doing the December predictions for 2021. So hang in there, watch for them. I'm coming Monday or Tuesday, I promise. Maybe over the weekend, but probably not. But anyway, I'll see you for sure next Friday. Thank you all for accepting the love I send to you. Thank you for the love that you give to me. I am so grateful. And Desi says, thank you, and you as well. Glad I made it. I'm glad you made it too, Desi. I'm glad that Annika and Judith made it, and Judith sends us all love. Thank you. Until we meet again, my friends.